Hello, Janis here from Tarot Reading London with my last energy update of 2021. Or is it my first energy update of 2022? Not sure. But anyway, New Year's Eve, it's the last day of the year. So I really hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you had a fun and enjoyable time. And I hope you have a lovely evening tonight as we celebrate the close of what has been another challenging year. So as is my practice, I've taken 4 cards to guide us through the next month, to guide us through the first month of 2022. So I asked, as I always do, what is going to be the overarching energy of January 2022, and we got the Moon card. Now, no surprises here. The Moon talks about fear and a lack of being able to see clearly. It's where we feel like we're moving through a bit of a half light, where we can't see the wood for the trees. We can't see what the truth is. And that really describes what we've been experiencing and what we will continue to experience throughout January. There's a lot of uncertainty, and what our human brains hate more than anything in the world is not being able to see the path ahead. And that's a definitive feeling as we move through the month of January. Now, look, it's not unsurprising that we are not all happy bunnies, not only in the current situation, but also in January. There is often this feeling of like, oh God, we've come out of the sort of the frenzy of the festive season and New Year, and then we all have to go back to work and we have to pay for it all, and it never feels great, does it? But, that's fine. I think this is more than that, isn't it? This is informed by the fact that none of us can see clearly how to do it, how to move forward, what we should be doing, what we should be planning, whether we should be planning anything. It becomes extremely unsettling. And so that is, I think, an energy that we're all going to have to deal with this next month. The Moon is never a pleasant card, but it is beholden on any of us who are able to move forward in this month with any light, with any optimism. It's beholden on us to light the way, lead the way through this period of fear, because we're not done yet, guys. It's just fear. So I asked, what will be our challenge? What will be our biggest challenge this month? And I got the 3 of Pentacles. Now, this is a very practical card. So practicalities, teamwork, work in general is going to be a challenge this coming month. So that might be what work to do, how you work, where you work. Getting work at all might well be a challenge, and that is something that we're going to have to deal with. So again, how we show up working together is going to be difficult this next month. How we see our role in things and what part we play, that's going to be difficult for us all to maybe come to terms with. So that's what we're going to be challenged by, the idea of work. Implementation is a big watchword with this card. So again, we've got the Moon, which is not giving us any clarity. How are things going to be implemented? How are we going to do this, both individually and collectively, right? We just don't know the way forward. We need to make a plan, but we don't know what plan we're supposed to make. It's very, very difficult, and it is very challenging. There's no doubt about it. So I asked what we should be guided by, how we should approach the month for the most positive outcome and much better news. We got the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is actually victory. We should move forward assuming success. Now, that is confidence, optimism, and leadership. Now, do you remember in the last card, I said how we show up? If we need to lead the way, work together positively, and how we each show up individually is going to be really, really important this month. And the Six of Wands asks us to show up confident and strong. Now, it might be that perhaps we don't have a clear idea of exactly how we're going to do it, how we're going to lead. It is nevertheless an approach. It's an energy that we need to adopt, an energy of confidence, an energy of leadership. That's going to make all the difference, because what this card tells us is that we will get there. We will be successful. It doesn't feel like it at the moment. The moon is so uncertain and is so worried and is so down. It leaves us feeling depressed. It leaves us feeling, what's the point, right? But the Six of Wands tells us this is a tipping point. I think that we are coming through a period through which we'll be able to find a sort of a new place to be. And it's asking us to be confident in that place. Now, the Six of Wands always in tarot comes after a period of conflict. And that conflict is differing opinions, differing voices, differing agendas. And what it tells us is that ultimately somebody will lead the way through that, and we will find the right way forward to a successful conclusion. So if we can keep that in mind, we're still in that conflict at the moment, we're still in that difficulty, and we don't have any faith in the fact that it will ever be okay, but it will. And we have to keep that right in front of us on the road. It will be okay. We will make it through. We will be successful. That's what the reading is telling us. So I asked for a backup message from Spirit for us all, and a really, really good card that again underpins all of the message of this reading. Another six. So another tipping point card. It's bolstering up this idea of the fact that this is a tipping point period. The Six of Swords, which is the card I drew, tells us that we're in transition. So this is not our end point, nowhere near. But we are in process. Now, if we look at the card, we can see that the figures traveling across this watery landscape, traveling across this difficult terrain, emotional terrain, are heading towards a destination which looks a little indistinct, doesn't it? It looks a little bleached out. It doesn't have any colour in it. It doesn't have a feeling of reality about it. But we're heading there nonetheless. We just don't know where we're going. And the message of this card is always that when we reach it, we'll be able to step out of the boat and begin things anew. And that's really important. We are in transition, but we are heading towards this new landscape, which will be better than the old landscape. And that's the message of the card, and that's the message from Spirit. Where we're heading will be better than before. Now, that's a very, very difficult message to bear in mind and to keep close to our hearts, isn't it, when we've got an overarching energy of the moon. But that tells us that it's fear. It's just fear. And it's just the fact that we can't see clearly, but we don't have to. We just need to keep going, stay confident, stay self-assured, lead the way positively. So for any of us who can step up with light, who can step up with optimism, determination, and a self-assured energy, we should do in the right way, of course. We're not talking about arrogance or trampling anyone underfoot here. We're talking about leading the way confidently and in the right energy. So while January is looking to have its challenges, it is telling us that we are on our way. We're not there yet, for sure, and it has been difficult these last few months, but we will find our way. It promises us that. So I hope that is in some way a bit of a support through the next month. I hope that your next month is not too challenging and that you manage to find your way into the incoming spring with as much optimism as you can muster. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you find it interesting. I always find it fascinating to do these readings and to share with you what I find. So in the meantime, I'm going to say goodbye. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve. Have a wonderful start to the new year if you can. And I'm always here for a reading if you need me. In the meantime, I'll say bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.